I watched 4 comedy horror movies, and these are my thoughts. I'm gonna rank these movies from what I think the worst film was to the best. The films I watched were in this order: Renfield, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Ready or Not, and The Menu. Of course, these are my opinions, and with that, let's get into the video. The worst film by pretty far was Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Aliens disguised as clowns crash land on Earth in a rural town to capture unsuspecting victims in cotton candy cocoons for later consumption. The first thing I really want to talk about with this film is I thought that the designs for these clowns were really impressive. Some of the visuals that you see in this film I think were really cool. And visually it's fun. I like the visuals. I remember not ever feeling very invested, or I was more bored in this when watching this film for whatever reason, and characters there were whatever, and I think I was hoping for more wacky kills. There was a couple, but overall I think some more wacky kills would have been fun. Not like gory particularly, just wacky. Yeah, it was still pretty wacky. Now on to my third place. The next film was The Menu. A young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. So I thought this film was actually really interesting and in a really original story. I feel like I can't think of any film that's like this. So that's nice. I like to have a unique story. There's also a deeper meaning in this film. I haven't gone too much into it. I watched a video after I watched the film on it, so I think I kind of get it. So that's good. I like how there's a variety of characters that are different from each other. Sometimes in films, we don't have those unique characters, but I feel like each of them have their own personality, which it's nice to see like what they've done or why they're there. It's kind of nice. I mean, they never got like fully into all these characters, maybe some of them. I also will say this film I found confusing with its messaging. Well, but by that I mean I think that it has a message, and I think that most people could probably see it. I think I just was confused when I watched it. I did watch this film in the morning though, just a bit after I woke up, so that might have affected my opinion on this film. Sometimes, when you wake up, you're maybe not fully there yet, so that could have affected the fact that I didn't find it very funny. But I did laugh at a couple parts. I feel like I laughed a little bit later on, which might be because I was more awake, I guess. Like Killer Clown from Outer Space, I didn't feel as invested during this film. I think I remember being invested like the first half, but I think by the second half, I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't as invested. On to second place is Ready or Not. A young bride's wedding night turns into her worst nightmare when her ridiculous rich in-laws force her to play a gruesome game of hide and seek. I think this film was pretty good. I think it was decently funny. I think I laughed at a couple parts. I thought the characters were entertaining. All of them have their weird quirks or are just kind of weird. The main character was likable, and I thought the film was just pretty fun. It's definitely a film you don't want to take too seriously, though, so don't go into it thinking it's gonna be a serious film. I thought the film was pretty good. I still don't know how I completely feel about the ending, but it was something. I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do in the second film. And the best film I watched was Renfield. Having grown sick and tired of his centuries as Dracula's lackey, Renfield finds a new lease on life, and maybe even redemption, when he falls for a feisty, angry traffic cop, Rebecca Quincy. I watched this film, technically twice, but I would say only really once, because I watched it the first time, really liked it, and then I showed it to my sister. But I didn't watch it as much the second time because, I just saw it recently. But the parts I did see, I did enjoy the second time too. I really did like this film. I thought it had some really fun action scenes. Like, it was very over the top, very gory. I think it might be the goriest film I've seen. Not the most disturbing or anything like that. But I think just like of blood that you see on screen, I think it might be the goriest I've seen. Also found it pretty funny. I remember laughing at some parts. Just, it's ridiculous. It's over the top. I'm not well versed in the Dracula lore, so that's not gonna affect my rating if there's something wrong with that. And yeah, like I said, I watched this film twice. I just really enjoyed Renfield. It has not the highest ratings. I think I understand why. It's probably not a remarkable story, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Now I'm gonna rank it from what I thought the least funny was to the funniest, and here we go. The Menu, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Ready or Not, and the funniest being Renfield. I would like to know your guys' thoughts on these films. Of course, these are my opinions. You're all, allowed to have your own opinions. So if you differ from me, you like some films more than me, you dislike them more than me, put them in the comments. I would love to see your guys' opinions. And with that, bye.